Second game. First referee, Mr. Bobby Celso, national referee. Our second referee is Mr. Philip Rica Huerta, national referee. Let's call on the starting lineup for our Philippine Army Troopers. Let's start with their team captain wearing jersey number 5, outside spiker Sergeant Shaylo Labide. Middle blocker number 4, Corporal Antonio Torres. Starting center private number 7, Carl Ramirez. Outside spiker number 12, Private First Class PJ Rojas. Opposite spiker number 18, Private Mark Enciso. And middle blocker number 19, Private Kevin Liberato. Their starting libero is number 6, Corporal Jason Uy. Head coach for the Troopers, Staff Sergeant Melvin Carolino. Let's call in the starters of our Santa Rosa City Lions. Outside spiker number 1, Yoyong Mendoza. Starting center number 3, Echo Atahar. Middle blocker number 5, Andre Bakil. Opposite spiker number 6, Axel Bog. Middle blocker number 7, Gab Maxino. And outside spiker number 9, team captain Harvey Quesada. Their starting libero is number 15, Aljun Centeno. Their head coach is Mr. Edward Jan Lirio.
Take a look at the starters here for the Philippine Army Troopers as they go up against the Santa Rosa City Lions. Not a lot of surprises here, but then we have to watch out, of course, for itong si PJ Rojas and of course si Kevin Liberato, as we mentioned a while ago. Ito naman sa City of Santa Rosa Lions. Again, a very young group here. No big surprises as well, except for si Kevin Montemayor, who was actually the top scorer of the Santa Rosa City Lions last time around. Not starting again, did not start in the last game as well. So let's see kung ganun pa rin yung tema ng Santa Rosa City Lions in this one. Again, Santa Rosa trying to build on their first win last time around. That itong Philippine Army Troopers trying to bounce back from a loss in their last game. Ako po si Paul De Rosario, joined by Paneng de Schwarter. Mick Abesames is patrolling the sidelines for us. Thank you very much for joining us here on One Sports. As the first point goes quickly to the Philippine Army. Kanina pinag-usapan natin, Paneng, that the Philippine Army most likely between these two teams, sila yung mapapagod, especially if we go into the later sets. Gano'ng ka-importante yung first two sets here, especially for the Philippine Army?
They need to get that momentum and they need to get that quick attacks activated as early as now. Like what we saw kanina, yung first quick attack ni Liberato, their top scorer for their previous game. But this time naman, itong Santa Rosa squad, we know that they are a young team, but they have a lot of potential. Napanalo nila yung first game nila against Vanguard, but ito namang Army, as long as makuha nila yung tamang galaw nila, magtuloy-tuloy lang yun, makukuha nila kagad itong game na to.
It'll be interesting to see what the Santa Rosa City Lions could do defensively, kasi kung nakita natin yung mga defensive numbers nila in terms of receiving, they're second to the last. As we take a look at this attack again coming from the Philippine Army, 2-1 here very early on.
There are times of shaking nga itong first ball nitong Santa Rosa, but they also have good middle attackers with Book. You know, if they have a good first ball, ma-activate nila yung mga quick attackers nila, mahihirapan din makahabol sa blocking itong Army.
At that time, good blocking for Santa Rosa, and the attack from the back hits the net. Tied up at 2 apiece here. And again, the classic storyline, the veterans against the younger ones. Kung veterano ka, I'm sure grabe yung pride when you go up against a younger team. You want to beat them. You don't want anyone who is 5 to 10 years younger than you to beat you on the court.
But if you're in a younger squad naman, but may gusto kang ipakita na kaya mo makipagsabayan dito sa mga veterans. And maybe yung ibang players nitong Army, idol na rin nila, tinitingala talaga nila. But this time naman, nakakasabay sila dahil ang ganda ng score natin, isahan lang, no? Wala pang nakakalamang ng ng malayo. But kaka-start pa lang nung set. But we'll see kung sino yung makakakuha ng malaking lamang dito.
Less pressure ba yun kung mas bata yung team in general? Like, on average, compared to a veteran squad as PJ gets that off the block?
There are times na mas mapipressure ka because, you know, naiisip mo na you want to prove something, na you want to win this set, but if you're a young squad, dapat dahan-dahan lang yung laro. You have to follow what the instructions of your coach. You have to follow your game plan because for sure, pinag-practicean nila to kung paano sila makakuha ng mas madaming puntos or saan yung weakness ng kalaban nila.
Spoken like a true vet, Paneng. Santa Rosa managed to keep that alive. But then in the end, itong si Magsino unable to push that across.
That's actually a hard angle on Magsino. Look at this replay. Ang layo na nung setter eh. Pinilit na lang iba to sa kanya. Underhand pa yung set sa kanya.
Again, a bit too low there. Nakita natin yung change of direction as what? A serve there from BJ Rojas. And the blocking coming up para sa Philippine Army.
That was a good block coming from Philippine Army. Look at this replay. Ang ganda ng timing nila kay Quesada.
Again, a double block was there. Itong si Enciso, si Torres combining very well.
Oh.
Parang kanyon talaga yung serve niya, but that time was overshooting it.
Yeah, medyo na-miss time niya yung kanyang attack. Nakita mo na sa ilalim na ng bola niya napalo yun, kaya naman nag-outside yung kanyang service.
Harvey Quesada on the service line. 4 serving 5. There's Philippine Army trying to build a good rhythm here, but mistimed it, misconnection. And that time off the block, itong si Mendoza really enjoyed that one.
Mendoza is actually one of their top scorers during their previous game against Vanguard. He scored 15 points. And he's one of the go-to spikers of the Santa Rosa squad. Lalo na pag may mga transition plays, si Mendoza usually yung nakakuha ng puntos for the team.
So Yoyong Mendoza ties it up at 5 apiece. And itong si Enciso saying that did hit the line, but the officials saying otherwise. And hinahanap nila yung cardboard to show that it's ball in, ball out challenge. And here it is. And of course, we're gonna see if that is debatable dito sa challenge system natin.
It's actually a early challenge by Philippine Army.
You know,
Both teams has 2 challenge na pwede nilang magamit per set. And if this challenge turns out to be successful, may dalawa pa sila all throughout the set. And look at this replay. That was a good call.
That's a very good challenge. At alam mo, it's always interesting to see how the coaches and the coaching staff use the challenges that they do have. Kasi iba rin yung strategy. Some like using it early, some like to leave it late.
Especially if they know that it's really inside. No? Dahil konting-konting tama lang yung sa linya, it will be called inside.
Well, that means the score is 6-5 in favor of the Philippine Army. Again, trying to bounce back from their loss last time around. Mendoza.
Oh. What an open attack there by Mendoza. Look at this replay. Kitang-kita niya na bukas yung down the line niya. There was no blocker there. May space dun sa kanya.
Again, 2 blockers went up. Medyo markado rin si Yoyong Mendoza. But then at that time, the angle, he was able to find just the right one from the back line this time. Itong si Enciso. Well received. Yoyong Mendoza again.
He's on fire. Sunod-sunod ang kanyang magagandang open attacks. Look at this replay. The blockers of the Army squad is having a hard time.
Feeling ko sinasabi niya, challenge niya yan. As the Santa Rosa City Lions finding their groove here, and that time able to get a block touch. Tied up at 7 apiece.
Yeah, it was actually from the hands of Mendoza. He thought it was outside but tumama lang sa braso niya.
No chance of Santa Rosa to cool off the Philippine Army to cool off Santa Rosa. And the push there from Mendoza could not fool the Philippine Army. PJ Rojas from the back line. And the running attack, that's good for the Santa Rosa City Lions as they go up 8-7 here in a very tight one here. Walang nakakalamang dito as Santa Rosa sent us to our first technical timeout. We'll be right back.
Jericho Arena for your 2023 Spikers Turf Open Conference. My name is Mika Abesamis, and like I said earlier, Santa Rosa may be aggressive and young, pero sabi daw nila, pag Army ka, sundalo ka, saludo ka lang. As long as sinusunod daw ng Army ang mga utos ni Staff Sergeant Melvin Carolino, lalo na sa first ball, to maintain momentum, they will make this work. They had some tune-up games with San Beda and Adamson recently, and this helped hype up, how do I say this, the elders, and updated them with how these young guys move. They could make use of this today against this young Santa Rosa squad. Pao, Paneng.
Maraming salamat, Mika. And let's see what the elders can do here against the younger Santa Rosa City Lions. And, you know, that is a normal occurrence here as it's all tied up at 8 apiece. It's a normal occurrence here na yung mga veterano na teams, mga pro teams, they do go up against college teams, not only for themselves, but of course, just to try and make sure na connected sila sa mga modern style of play.
Oo, and like what Mika mentioned nga, no, na susundin na nila yung mga instructions ng coach nila. And definitely, napag-practicean nila ito na paano nila tatalunin itong young squad na Santa Rosa. But as you can see, 1 point lang yung lamang ng Army. And I think because of the early good attacks na pinapakita nito ni Yoyong Mendoza, nabuhayan yung Santa Rosa squad. Iba na yung galaw nila ngayon, mas napapabilisan nila yung play. E nakakasabay na sila sa mga transition plays ng Army.
At walang nakasabay dyan kay PJ Rojas as he is able to tap that down. Back-to-back points para kay Rojas. Again, off the block. At nandun na si Rojas, able to be the first one to it. And you can only imagine how many times the game has changed throughout the careers of these Army troopers. As we see the Santa Rosa City Lions pulling one back.
I think that was the first attack na nakita natin from Jericho Adahar. It was coming up from 1-2 play. Hindi yun ina-expect ng mga Army defenders. Only PJ Rojas was there in the front to block.
Yoyong Mendoza on the service line. Hanap si Rojas, and Rojas with the hammer. You know, I like the report of Mika kasi inamin nila that they do have to follow orders itong Philippine Army kasi staff sergeant lang naman yung coach nila.
And I think naman talaga na yung mga coaches, they really have specific instructions and game plan coming into a game. So, iba-iba yun. Iba-iba yung game plan nila. Depende kung sino yung kalaban nila. So, they just have to follow it and trust their coaches.
Literal na marching orders as Harvey Casada sends that out wide. Take a look at this again. Overcooking this and just going beyond the playing courts. Again, trying again. Itong si Casada. That time getting that off the block.
That was a good open attack by Casada. Maganda naman yung bawi niya na yun. Eh, ito naman si Adahar. Talagang binigyan siya ng chance na makabawi. It's very important, no, na yung setter mo may tiwala sa'yo. Not just the setter, but your whole teammates. Kasi minsan pa nagsusunod-sunod yung errors mo, dun ka na paghihinaan ng loob eh. But maganda yung bawi na yun ni Casada.
Off speed there from Ross just a while ago. And that is out for the Philippine Army. So Santa Rosa again within one. And the two teams here refuse to come away from each other.
That was actually a good combination attack, but Enciso just overcooked his middle attack.
Liberato with the fake and the blocking.
Good coverage.
Almost does its job.
Oh, that was outside. That was a good coverage, but aside the Philippine Army, we thought na kill block na yon sa attack ni Enciso. That was a good block, their single block actually, but good coverage for that Army squad.
Keeping it alive by hook or by crook. Rojas sending that across, and eventually, you know, that is the value of never giving up on the play.
Oh, as long as wala pang whistle yung referee, tuloy-tuloy lang talaga dapat.
Kevin Liberato with the serve. Ramirez setting up Rojas. Rojas off speed. And that'll be a net touch against Santa Rosa.
Now, lumalaki na yung lamang ng Army with 3 points.
Again, we emphasized a while ago na para sa Philippine Army, maybe the first set should matter more to them considering yung mga conditioning limitations that they might have here. Pero itong si Mendoza able to score and end the little rally.
Yeah, pero nakakasunod ito sa game, itong Santa Rosa squad. Kanina, dikit yung laban, 1 point lang yung lamang. Ngayon, they were able to cut their lead to 2 points only. Oh.
Again, getting that off the block. Itong si Rojas. Rojas has been scoring for fun here.
I know, sunod-sunod yung kanyang scoring. One of the top scorers, itong Army squad together with Enciso and Liberato.
Si Rojas with his signature jump serve.
Good serve.
So hard to deal with, and that immediately leads to another point para kay Enciso. And that means we're going to our second technical timeout with the Philippine Army leading by 4. The serve set this up. Almost too difficult to deal with, and Enciso there to clean it up. We'll be right back. Don't go away. 4-point lead para sa Philippine Army. Thank you very much for joining us here on the Spikers Turf Open Conference. The Philippine Army looking to bounce back from a tough loss last time around. And here in the first frame, looking very good. Courtesy of this man. Ay, binati ko. Sorry. PJ Rojas getting that to the tape. Service error for the Philippine Army, and Santa Rosa pull one back.
Actually, maganda itong start ng Philippine Army, but the question is if they will be able to sustain their momentum and good game coming up from their previous loss. Ang ganda din ng start nila ng first set, but yung mga succeeding sets, medyo bumibigay itong Army squad.
Itong si Quesada getting the first ace of the game. One of the first aces of the game, rather, as itong si Enciso was unable to control that. And 2 points already para kay Quesada. Going to the ring and the blocking. 3 straight points para sa Santa Rosa straight off the second technical timeout.
That was a good block. Ang ganda ng timing ng mga blockers sa Santa Rosa squad. There was no chance for you to get that in coverage. Ang bilis ng balik ng bola sa side ng Army.
Si Quesada making a home at the service line. Good serve once again. This time the blockers unable to keep at it. And they are insisting walang net touch itong si Santa Rosa. Or at least that was the given call. So let's see in the replay here if they do have a case.
Yeah, it was actually Magsino and Adahar on that side blocking the Jailo Labide. And they were saying na walang net touch. Bola daw yon, sabi nila.
So they're going to challenge it here. It'll be the first challenge here of Santa Rosa. Again, interesting to note kung kailan mag-challenge yung mga ibang coaches. We're discovering this because the challenge system is still in its infancy dito sa Philippine Volleyball. Only been using it relatively recently. And of course, let's see if they do have a point here. And I feel a shirt did make the touch, but I don't think that they would count that.
I think it was the ball.
Yeah, probably the ball. But no net touch.
That was a good challenge by Santa Rosa.
So that means it will be Santa Rosa back on the service line here. 16-15, 1 point in tying this away. Ciso getting that off the block, ending the run. It was a 3-0 run before Enciso ended it with this finish off the block.
But that was actually a good check by Mendoza. Napabagal niya yung bole, but Quesada was just not ready for that defense.
Enciso with the serve.
Good first ball.
And that time finishing that off the hands of the blockers. Walang magawa ang Philippine Army.
That was a good first ball from Quesada. That's why they were able to have that combination play. Ang ganda nung atake na yon ni Axel Book on the middle.
And the blocking of Santa Rosa has come alive, 17 all.
We're seeing a lot of block touches and kill block here on the side of Santa Rosa. Ang ganda ng timing nila, especially si Mendoza.
And right now, the Philippine Army shuffling things up a bit just to keep things fresh and hopefully answer this little run coming from Santa Rosa. Remember, we went in the technical timeout with Army leading by 4, and now we're tied up once again. 5-1 run in favor of Santa Rosa. And the Philippine Army finally ended. And it's interesting to note that itong Santa Rosa, we were talking about how they've improved their blocking in this game in particular. They're dead last in terms of blocking numbers here sa conference na to.
But early as for this set, ang dami na nilang kill block. So it will add to their tally.
They want to get off from the bottom of the standings there. Speaking of blocking, that was good enough. On the back row, Rojas.
And that was inside. Good back row attack by Rojas.
Well, itong si Rojas, if they need a point, they go to him. Doesn't matter where he is on the floor.
Yeah, mapa front row man or back row. The ever reliable PJ Rojas.
And that was another great hit coming from Yoyong Mendoza, who every time he has a spot on the wing, it feels like a highlight's about to happen.
Ang ganda ng elevation niya. Nakita mo yung hang time niya pag pumapalo siya sa open. Talaga parang nakikita niya, tinitignan niya yung mga blockers niya kung saan niya papadaanin yung bola niya.
19-18, Philippine Army up by 1. Couple of changes here para sa Santa Rosa City Lions. Ascarpena ready to serve. An instant reply by the Philippine Army. 2-point lead once again.
That was a good first ball and good quick attack by the Philippine Army squad. Yan yung mga mahirap blockin nila na pag-isahan na lang. One-on-one yung blockers mo in the middle, especially if you have a lefty spiker in the front.
Mendoza again. And that time the ball went towards our direction but a bit too high. Buti na lang. 20-19 in favor still of the Philippine Army. But Santa Rosa refusing to let them go.
Kanina pa nakakuha na madaming puntos itong si Mendoza, and Army hindi pa sila nakaka-adjust sa type of attacks nito ni Mendoza, the cross court. Good defense here that we're seeing on the side of Santa Rosa.
Quesada could not get that through. Again, hinanap si Quesada ulit. And trying to get that off the blocker, trying to get the brush. But it feels like it's going to be a net touch against Quesada.
Yan, nahuli nitong second referee.
Couple substitutions here coming up. Si in-season Ramirez will check back in para sa Philippine Army as we take a look at that violation. And Montemayor coming in para sa Santa Rosa City Lions.
Yeah, Montemayor is actually their top scorer for the Santa Rosa City Lions during their game against Vanguard. He scored 16 points in that set, in that game.
God man, 16 points in one set. And that one just a bit too long for Mendoza again. That's the other Mendoza. Itong si Lyric John Mendoza, who did not play the last game, sends that a bit long, 22-19. Quick timeout, let's listen in.
Diba ano kailangan natin gawin? Kailangan natin mas maayos sa setup. Mag-receive tayo ng maayos. Di kasi tayo nag-receive ng maayos eh. Idikta mo kung saan ibibigay yung bola. Naku, ang nangyayari na, andun, espasyo pa. Ulit-ulit naman tayo sa ensayo niyan eh. Boy, situation na, kailangan natin makuha itong points na to ha. Go. Kaya. Pagkatapos natin makakuha, black. Basta yung kailangan, diretso, maayos.
Tuloy yung magaganda natin dapat. Tara.
Say job, Santa Rosa!
Well, as always, controlling the first ball is going to be priority. And what is your biggest takeaway there from yung huddle ng Santa Rosa?
Interesting that we hear one of the players said, tuloy-tuloy natin magandang kilos. So, we saw it naman na ang ganda ng mga blocks nila, ng mga attacks nila, nakakasabay sila sa mga transition plays ng Army. But nakakapagbigay sila ng mga libreng puntos coming off from their errors na dapat iniiwasan na ngayon, especially malapit na tayo matapos dito sa first set.
Well, singing to the right tune, itong si Lyric Mendoza, able to get that in and pull within 2 para sa Santa Rosa. Pero sumugot naman si Liberato.
Yeah, sabi niya, tapusin na natin to, guys. Last 2 points na lang tayo to close this set.
Oh, let's stop the music there as Liberato getting the point and pulling Army within 2 of claiming the frame. Carl Ramirez, or rather Joshua Barica on the service line para sa Army. And just a bit too wide. You know, I always feel for yung mga service specialists who are expected to come into the game to do one thing, which is to serve. And ang hirap nun, especially if you were on the bench for a while, then you come in a high-pressure situation.
Right. Kaya sometimes yung mga service specialists natin sa mga trainings, double time sila sa mga drills na yan.
DJ Rojas almost getting the point there. And Army 2 points away from claiming the frame. Right pa rin dito. Good defense coming from Santa Rosa. Free ball here for the Army to deal with. Who did they turn to? And that time, trying to get that in between the blockers. Itong si Enciso doing just that. 24-21, Army within 1.
That was a nice opposite attack by Enciso. Twice siyang na-check and twice na-depensahan yung palo niya. But sa kanya pa rin binibigay ng setter ng Army. But on the third try, ang ganda naman na ng puntos na nakuha niya, sending their team to set point.
29-year-old PJ Rojas again. What a serve. And as I was going to compliment him, itong si Magsino saying, wait, don't forget about me.
Actually, maganda itong mga quick attacks na nakikita natin on the side of Santa Rosa. As long as they get a nice first ball. Pag sakto lang sa setter nila, nakaka-execute na maayos ang play yung setter nila. Kaya naman nahihirapan makakuha ng block itong Army.
Good defense here coming from the Philippine Army, keeping that alive. Free ball to deal with here for Santa Rosa. At buhay pa rin dito. Played really high, swinging that around, but it's Philippine Army. Good rally we have here so far, and it is Maxino who puts a cap on it.
So far, ang ganda ng mga quick attacks ng Santa Rosa. Nahihirapan makasabay itong Army squad, especially yung tempo nila. Nauuna yung spiker sa set ng setter. Kaya naman, nalilate ang blockers ng Army.
Oh, quick timeout. Let's listen in.
One good receive tayo. Pasok na mayos. Pilitin mong kuhanin yung quicker. Pilitin mong kuhanin yung quicker.
Wala namang ginagawa yung quicker, kundi ganun lang.
Pilitin mong kuhanin yung quicker. Pasok ka mo na.
Play.
Sinong blocker nito?
Play.
Montemayor?
Si Mendoza.
Ha?
Mendoza.
Tingnan ko yung si
Left.
Saan pwesto mo dyan?
Okay na.
Pwede mo dyan na ba? Ikaw sa ba?
Gitna ka.
Yung tatlo naman natibay yan ha.
Pasok ka mo na mayos.
Ito siya si Onse. Sige, sige ko tapos iyan naman ang tubig yan. Sino naman ang
What I liked about that particular timeout is that they were identifying each and every one of their opponents, trying to find the proper matchups, the right matchups, and very tactical way of thinking about this particular play. And they wouldn't need it, or do they? Because that is a service ace. And they're going to challenge this ball in, ball out. And again, this is probably one of the more crucial challenges here.
Yeah, especially if this goes in. Tayo na sila ng 24 and we will go and deuce for this set.
You know, it's my first time working with you here, and it feels like kung first set lang natin, extended na kaagad. You never know what that means for the rest of our games. As we take as we're going to try and see if we can get a proper angle on this. Again, ball in, ball out of the service ace is the call. And that is ball. Ooh, that is close. Well, personally, hindi ko makita. There it is.
It's inside.
Yeah.
I was was a good challenge. Good service there by Montemayor coming up from the bench.
The Philippine Army had the challenge, hoped that it went out, but it does not. So here we are, the first set. We have an extended one here. Again, trying to double up on that, and a service error. Na-excite masyado. And Philippine Army just need one more point again.
Yeah, nakita mo doon medyo nagmadali dito si Montemayor dun sa service niya.
And Ciso serve para sa Philippine Army. Again, trying to put away the Santa Rosa City Lions. From the back, and they tie it up at 25 all.
That was a good first ball by Santa Rosa's libero. Every time na nakakuha sila ng magandang first ball, it's either a quick attack or combination play. Everything works well for Santa Rosa. As long as they have that perfect first ball, maging matibay lang sila doon, makakagawa sila ng madaming plays. That was inside again.
And the Santa Rosa City Lions have flipped the script. And they are going to be challenged once more. Talking about the call as I believe this is their last challenge itong Philippine Army.
Yes, because they lost the first challenge, no? They challenged ball in, ball out, also coming up from the service of Montemayor, but they lost that, and this time, isa na lang natitira nila. So, pag ito hindi successful, wala na silang challenge for the rest of the set.
And that is
inside, yeah.
Well, they had to try it on the Philippine Army. And the service game here of Santa Rosa has been on point, and all of a sudden, here they are, 1 point away from stealing this one from Philippine Army. Remember, at one point, they had a 4-point lead on by the Philippine Army in the second technical timeout. Mendoza! And the Santa Rosa City Lions off to a dream start here. Almost like a movie, beaten up at the beginning and finally getting the first frame. But let's see whether or not they can maintain that going into the second. At para sa Philippine Army, this is a chance for them to show off their mental toughness, going down 27-25 in set number 1. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You're still watching the Spiker Surf Open Conference. And what a first frame we had for you. The Philippine Army falling to the Santa Rosa City Lions after really being in control for majority of the second half of the frame. And you can just say that we are talking about your mental toughness on Santa Rosa City Lions. They showed us a lot of that here in set number 1.
Yeah, it was actually an exciting first set. We thought na Army will easily get that first set, especially they got an early 4-point lead. But not until Santa Rosa squad got their groove and momentum leaded by Mendoza with 7 points. Ang ganda ng kanilang mga transition plays. Kita mo yung mga blockings nila really worked well for the Santa Rosa squad. Kaya naman nahirapan nakasabay itong Army. But ang ganda kanina, nung body language, nakita mo na nag-e-enjoy itong Santa Rosa. They know na kaya nila makasabay at definitely mapanalo yung first set. And now we're looking at the numbers. It was 25-27. Attack points, near lang, no? Santa Rosa got 15, Army got 17. Errors also, 7 points na nabigay na puntos itong Santa Rosa, Army got 6. But yung service aces nila no latter part, Santa Rosa had 2 crucial service aces, one from Montemayor and Book, na nagamit yung challenge ng Army pero hindi naging successful. Kaya doon nakakuha ng momentum itong Santa Rosa squad. So we'll see if they will be able to maintain that momentum coming into this second set, or Army will get this early lead and makuha nila yung second set.
Well, it was a game of inches, literal na inches, because of the challenges made by the Philippine Army on the service aces of the Santa Rosa City Lions. And what a time for it to come para sa Santa Rosa. They go to Rojas again to start out with itong Philippine Army, but then dealt well with here. Quesada on the other side, the block is out.
It was a good first point here by Quesada. We saw na nilabas siya ni Coach nung first set, replacing it with Montemayor, but now he's starting for the second set.
Well, na-mention mo kanina that he had quite a few errors in the first frame, and dito parang gustong makabawi kagad.
Actually, in the first set, he only had 2 points.
First to the ball, and first point here for the Philippine Army. Again, able to get the touch.
Actually, the first referee said that Adhar is actually in the back row. So, inagaw niya yung bola sa net na papunta na sa side nitong Army squad. So, he's asking that there was an overreach, but there was none according to the first referee.
Philippine Army trying to regain the lead here. But then it is the Santa Rosa City Lions who come out on top.
Now you can see na parang nabaliktad na, no? Itong momentum na kanina yung Army no first set, sila nag-start na maganda yung laro, but this time coming into the second set, you'll see the Santa Rosa City Lions really enjoying this game.
Itong si Torres able to even it up and saying, okay, stop having fun. Again, Torres able to just hit it right in front of the receiver. DJ Rojas with the serve, typically powerful, and dealt well with. And their first attack after that booming serve results in a point, 3-2.
That was actually a good timing here by Magsino. Look at this. Nakuha niya yung middle blocker, leaving the open attacker of the City Lions with just one blocker. Kaya naman nakita mo, tusok na tusok yung palo niya doon. May halong gigil doon kay Magsino.
Na-excited. Nakita niya na wala sa position yung backline. As we see Magsino's attempts here just go a bit longer than he expected or he wanted. And Philippine Army and Santa Rosa in that first set, parang walang nakakalayo eh. The biggest lead was around 4 points for the Philippine Army in the second technical timeout. Pero as we've seen, and as we've seen so far, no lead is safe. And no one really wants to get away from each other. If you take a look at that, Santa Rosa regained the lead 4-3. And that's a lot better for Labide.
Labide only actually scored 1 point lang nung first set.
Yeah. Let's see Jelo Labide, 13 last time around in their loss. Torres with the serve. Again, meeting at the net there. Philippine Army was there first, and that was clever para sa Army. Itong si Carl Ramirez only had 5 last time around, but then he'll have a lot more if he keeps on doing that. Kaya walang magawa si Axel Book in that last play. Santa Rosa managed to tie things up again, 5-all.
You have to give credit here kay Magsino kasi sobrang sipag niya pumasok on the quick attack. Kaya nakakuha siya ng blocker. Perfect timing, perfect set. Dalawa actually nakuha niyang blocker coming up from that sequence, leaving Mendoza with just one blocker. Easy point there for the Santa Rosa squad.
And again, he does it once more. Itong si Carl Ramirez.
Yeah, if you get an easy point coming up from a 1-2 play, why not?
And very active. That time getting that off the block and also finding some empty space. Pero sumugot naman ng Santa Rosa, who refused to go away. 6-all again. It feels like we're gonna see a common theme here between these two.
Now you're seeing the middle attackers of the Santa Rosa squad giving a lot of problems for the Army squad. There are a lot of quick attacks na hindi nakakasabay yung blockers ng Army.
Good hit there coming from Liberato. And you felt that may konting giggle, may konting angas.
Yeah, nakita mo after getting that point. Medyo may patitik pa si Labide.
There it is. There was a little stare, a friendly stare naman.
Friendly stare, that's right.
The pancake save, unable to reach it for Jason Uy. Well, coming in for Uy, si Viking. 7-all here. We'll send us to our first tactical timeout. Find out soon enough. And it'll be the Philippine Army. So 8-7 here in what has been a nip and tuck set so far. The Philippine Army refusing to let the Santa Rosa City Lions go. And they take the lead going into our first tactical timeout. We'll be right back.
Back at the Paco Arena for your 2023 Spikers Turf Open Conference. My name is Mika Abisamis. Now, the main goal of Coach Edo Lirio here is to really impose the system of Santa Rosa kasi napapansin nga daw niya itong mga maliliit na bagay na parang nakuha pa nila sa kanilang mga collegiate teams. Now, how is he going to do this? Through three things. First, connection. They need to get better at looking at each other and being aware of the next move. Second, sabi mo nga Pao kanina, you noticed their blockings. Well, he told them to focus on their blockings as a team. And third, their setup plays. Hindi pa daw kasi sila makapag-combination plays. But Paneng already noticed some good combinations here today. So this should be good. Just, you know, stealing sets from veterans. Pao, Paneng.
Maraming salamat, Mika. And thank you very much for listening to our commentary as well. Very good notes. Ako, nag-take down notes din ako. Connection. Paneng, you take a look at the connection point here para sa Santa Rosa City. What does he mean by that connection as Army regain the lead?
I think it's the connection coming off from the first ball, setter, and the spiker. Dahil nakita natin si Adahar kanina nakakagawa na talaga ng mga combination plays, na activate na niya mga middle attackers niya. As long as they sustain that connection, Adahar with his spikers, mapapaikot niya na maayos, makakakuha siya ng magagandang combination plays.
Well, let's see whether or not those 3 points will be evident here today. As we mentioned a while ago, stealing sets itong Santa Rosa, and there they stole another point, 9-all.
As long as they get that good first ball, sakto kay Adahar, that was a double quick attacker from the City Lions. Medyo mahirap timingan yun kung ikaw yung blocker ng Army.
And so far, the first ball of Santa Rosa has been making the big difference here in terms of their attacks. The Philippine Army regained the lead. Again, seesaw game so far. Back and forth, back and forth. Well, no team here really able to find a distinct advantage. And that will be a service error para sa Army, tied up at 10 apiece. Kanina nakita natin in the end of the first set, it turned out it was really a matter of challenges, inches, millimeters. So close here, and it was the challenges that actually made the difference. Labide. And Torres with the block. Pero buhay pa rin dito. And that time off the blocker, Santa Rosa regained the lead.
Actually, Mendoza really having a good game here. Ang ganda ng start niya ng first set. And tuloy-tuloy lang itong second set. One of the go-to spikers for the Santa Rosa squad. Ang ganda ng variation niya, really using the hands of his blockers.
Si Ramirez tried to score through that once more. And that time, the blocking of Army was activated. Tied up at 11-all.
Yeah, sabi ni Torres, ang ganda ng block niya na doon. Saktong-sakto kay Mendoza. I think that was the first skill block that we saw from Torres.
And a good answer here. Ito si Magsino. He is such a long player. It feels like parang hook shot sa basketball yung mga palo niya dito. Let's take a look at that again.
Niya. Yeah, that was a quick drop ball. Diba? May quick attack and quick drop ball.
And that time sending it straight to the net. We really cannot compliment players when they are on the service line, Paneng. There's a commentator's curse. It happens a lot. Kanina, ang ganda ng sinasabi ko for PJ Rojas, and then there was suddenly a service error. So let's see whether or not we can actually say nice things about people and good things will happen right after.
I think adrenaline na rin yun no? Lalo na si Magsino in the front row. Talagang sunod-sunod yung mga puntos niya in the quick attack.
Good effort here coming from Philippine Army as Rojas looks to end it.
That was a good change of direction ng attack kay Rojas. Facing cross-court, pero last minute talagang pinalo niya down the line. The libero of the city line is not ready to get that down the line attack.
1 point lead para sa Army. Again, no team has led by around 3 points here in this set. So take a look at the attack points here. 12 para sa Santa Rosa, 9 for Army. And that time, the blocking of Santa Rosa has come to the fore. As mentioned by Mika a while ago, blocking has been a key emphasis here for the coaching staff of Santa Rosa, and we're seeing a big difference here today.
And that was a good block by Bakhil. That's one-on-one block on the quick attack.
Tied up at 13-all. They go to Rojas again.
That's a good check.
Adahar sets it the other way. And that was the right decision to make as Santa Rosa lead by 1.
That was a good soft attack here by Quesada. Saktong-sakto sa gitna ng defense nitong Army. So nakikita mo, iba na yung bilis ng laro na pinapakita nitong City Lions. But on the side naman of Army, parang medyo bumabagal sila sa defense.
Again, the question is right now is, can Army keep up conditioning-wise? This has been something that, well, inabangan natin because we've seen it in the past. We've seen it in the past few games that as the game goes on, itong Philippine Army, their energy levels do drop. Good blocking there from the Philippine Army. Quesada goes to the back, no good there. Trying to reset defensively itong Philippine Army, and the block gets the point. 15-14. There's a couple substitutions being made here. Let's take a look at that block again. 2 blockers right in front of Quesada. And really, there was nowhere to go. It was as if you hit the ball on a wall.
And now Montemayor is inside the court, replacing Quesada. Ang aga naman na pinakita niyang puntos na yon ni Montemayor. Coming off from the bench.
Again, Montemayor had 16 last time around para sa Santa Rosa. In fact, the lead all scorers, he did come from the bench in that game too. 15-all. And the Philippine Army send us to our second technical timeout once again. They did that in set number 1. They led by 4, but here they only lead by a precarious 1 point, and it is Rojas running in at that to send us to our second technical timeout.
Double block kay Labide. Blocking is working well early on this set for the side of Santa Rosa.
Well, if a while ago the Philippine Army were the one who got off to a hot start in set number 3, it is all Santa Rosa here, and Army pull one back. And Ciso on the service line para sa Philippine Army. Again, so much noise here from the players. Dailo Labide has come to life here in set number 4. Couple of points here back to back.
And so far, Labide already had 6 points for Army. And already 3 players from the Army squad already in double-digit scoring. You have Rojas with 14 points and Ciso with 12 points and Liberato with 13 points.
And Ciso sends that straight to the net. Service error there for the Philippine Army. Still trailing 7 to 4. And a chance here for Santa Rosa to send us to our first technical timeout in what has been a blistering start. Maybe another error instead. So 5 serving 7 up next for the Philippine Army. Tonyo Torres, 6 points, 3 attacks, and 3 blocks para sa Army. And a misconnection there. Itong si Labide had the right idea, but then they go into the first technical timeout, trailing by 3. Tignan natin ulit, mali lang yung timing, and actually, it was the Santa Rosa City Lions who got to it first. We'll be right back.
Back at the Paco Arena for your 2023 Spikers Turf Open Conference. My name is Mika Abisamis. Sabi ni Coach Edu Lirio, importante ang espasyo. Masyado daw maliit ang spacing nitong Santa Rosa, because of which nagiging careless sila sa attacks. Another thing he mentioned was their timing. Masyado daw nagmamadali, kaya hindi consistent ang attacks nila. Veterano ang kalaban natin. Bawat isang error, papalitan nila ito ng puntos. Sabi mo nga pa, kung 1980s pinanganak, baka in the 90s, nagtitraining na yan. Nakiusap din si Coach Edu na dumiskarte, habaan ng mga palo and use their lower bodies. Pag broken set, kahit hindi na mag-jump set. Pau, Paneng.
Maraming salamat, Mika. Alam mo, huwag na natin pag-usapan yung 90s at yung 80s. But, as we go here and focus on 2023, ito yung future ng Philippine Volleyball. Some of the young guns here of the Santa Rosa City Lions. In fact, members of their teams last conference ended up in different squads. As Disquitado in particular ended up on the national team roster, as Rojas showing the young guns how it's done. And for those wondering when Rojas was born, huwag na natin pag-usapan kasi sabi ng good day. Oo.
Pag-usapan natin ng game at
Yes.
kung gaano kaganda nilalaro ni Rojas.
Absolutely.
Na parang ka-age lang niya itong mga young guns ng City Lions.
And the City Lions showing some new school flair.
Yeah, yan yung hindi natin nakita no second set, no? Yung mga consistent quick attacks ng City Lions na talagang nagbigay ng problema para sa Army squad. So if they will be able to activate their middle blockers again, dun magkakaroon ng problema itong defense pattern and yung bilis nitong Army to get those quick attacks ng City Lions.
Grabe man si Liberato. Got the ball, ran around as if he watched the Super Bowl. Baka napanood lang niya si Rihanna though. Kasi I don't know a lot of people who actually watch the game compared to the halftime show. Quesada unable to get that. But then able to do his job with a single block. At the hard with the back set. Buhay pa rin dito, but then Santa Rosa stopped playing. Ito si Centeno thought that it was done.
Yeah, minsan kasi yan yung nami-miss ng mga players, no, na feeling mo mali mo or feeling mo tapos na yung gameplay na yon, humihinto sila eh. Yeah, it's really important na focus ka lang and antahin mo yung whistle. Pag walang whistle, tuloy pa rin ang play.
At nabawi naman ng Santa Rosa City Lions, now restoring a 2-point lead.
Yeah, now we're not seeing Montemayor in the court. Book is actually playing for the squad now.
Book's been doing well in this frame. Bakil with the serve. And Rojas able to get the point. Ball fell exactly where Santa Rosa did not want it to. Malapit sa referee.
Yeah, yun ay mahirap ng kuhanin for the coverage.
I have yet to see a game kung saan napalo yung referee because of a sequence like that. And that one goes straight to the net. So the errors really have been preventing Army from catching up to Santa Rosa. We've seen quite a few already here.
Yeah, coming up from the service area as well.
And the blocking coming from Mendoza.
Yeah, it was
And si
single block.
Maxino as well.
It was actually all Mendoza. Saktong-sakto sa kanya yung
That's
palo.
right. That's right. And again, not afraid to have a little stare. Talking about si Mendoza. Torres. Getting that off the block. Yung si Labide. Showing everyone a bit of the stuff he learned from watching The Matrix back in 1999. As we check in, ball out here. A challenge from the Santa Rosa City Lions. Let's see if they have a point. And right now for Santa Rosa, they have to keep their cool here. Because in that third set, medyo nakita natin na fluster sila eh. They lost that mental battle, but they have come out so strong here in set number 4. The question is, can they maintain that? At sa kabila naman, the Philippine Army, confident in their conditioning, confident in their experience. Nakita natin kanina si yung Mendoza, very aware of the camera. It feels like wherever the camera is, ready siya.
Alam niya kung sa kanya nakafocus.
And he's only 18 years old. He'll only get better at that. Right now, the challenge is still ongoing. Let's see if there is... Oh, that is in.
Yeah, that is inside.
Barely.
That was actually a good challenge by the City Lions. I saw Quesada talking to Coach Lirio na it was inside. Do a challenge was inside.
Well, the trust was repaid and all of a sudden it's a 4-point lead para sa Santa Rosa. 14-10 in favor of the City Lions as Quesada ready to get things going again.
That was a wild set.
Meeting at the net, and the point will go the way of the Santa Rosa City Lions. And they'll challenge the net touch. Take a look at that.
The second referee said it was Jailo Labide.
So let's see if they do have a point. Pero base sa replay na yun, I think masasabi natin na inconclusive siya until we see the challenge.
That's right.
We cannot make that decision ourselves. But right now, if you take a look at the challenges, or at least yung track record of the challenges in this game in particular, 1 in 3 so far ang Philippine Army that one successful challenge at the very start of the game, the very start of the match in general. And there is that net touch there. And the Philippine Army feel vindicated.
Yeah, that was a good challenge by Army. Second referee thought it was Jailo Labide.
who had that net touch, but it was actually Book.
Well, it's all about the angles of when you see it as well. And the Philippine Army contingent is so much more noisier than what we remember. And unable to contort his body. Talking about Enciso.
He was actually expecting for that soft touch, no? Nakapwesto siya, but napasobra nga lang yung kanyang pwesto doon.
Nadala ng momentum as Book, 10 points already, an ace, 4 blocks to his name, Labide. Like the vet he is, pulling one back.
Now, 3 points na lang ang kailangan habulin nitong Army squad para makatay sa 15 points ng Santa Rosa.
Labide is the eldest player on the floor here for both teams and has been playing like a young spring chicken. And on that note, though, the Santa Rosa City Lions give another one back here to the Philippine Army. And nakita natin yung celebration ng Philippine Army.
Yeah, sabi ng first referee natin is may lifting violation doon called on Maxino dahil masyadong mababa na yung kanyang contact sa bola.
Single block. And Liberato enjoyed that one.
Good timing there on Torres. Sobrang excited niya, wala pang whistle.
Sayang na nakat yung replay kasi gusto kong makita yung celebration niya kanina eh. Parang, ano, a little hair wash, head wash. 1 point lead. And Philippine Army enjoying their game. You can see it in their body language and you can see it in their faces. But they did not enjoy that. 2 point lead para sa Santa Rosa going to a second technical timeout. We'll be right back. Well, the Philippine Army had a little rally of their own here before the second technical timeout, but an error sent it the other way. Could have been a tight ball game at one point. But let's see how they answer here, and that will be...
It was actually a foot fault called on Enciso. He was on the back row, but nakita na ating first referee na natapakan niya yung attack line. So that's a clear error if you're in the back row.
Santa Rosa trying to put Philippine Army away here. Labide off the blockers again. He's seen it all. He's done it all.
Good cross-court attack. Kita, parang ang bagal niya, ang tagal niya sa ere, no? Yung hang time niya, inintay niya yung kanyang blockers going in for that strong cross-court attack.
Adahar with the back set. Liberato and Rojas combined to slow that down. They go back to Rojas. Rojas! Not that time. Ball played up high. Adahar plays it to the wing. Si Rojas ulit. And sending that wide. Santa Rosa were scrambling. It was Army who was just more composed.
That was a battle of open attackers for both squads. Overcooked nga lang yung down the line attack ni Mendoza.
Better blocking here from the Philippine Army. We go back to Rojas, and Rojas coming in strong.
Grabe yung down the line ni Rojas. And now we're tied at 17. Kanina ang laki ng lamang nitong Santa Rosa squad, but slowly yung mga attacks, quick attacks and blockings itong Army really worked for them dahil nakadikit na sila sa score ng City Lions.
Alam mo kanina, it was Santa Rosa doing all the staring, and now the Philippine Army looking back. Could say there for Centeno, they go to the wing, and that time Mendoza has the last look.
There are a lot of stare downs for this game. And everyone really enjoying every time they get an attack point or good block point.
Barica will be checking in para sa Philippine Army, as Labide will take a quick breather. 1-point lead para sa Santa Rosa. Yoyong Mendoza has been a difference maker here. Rojas again, off the block, saved. Adahar sends it the other way. Rojas, a defensive effort. All the time in the world. And it is Liberato tying it up.
It's a good timing and attack there by Liberato, leaving Maxino on the single block there for the side of Santa Rosa.
It felt like that point in particular, the Philippine Army looked like they were circling prey. Saying like, sino bang mga Lions dito? Rojas.
Oh, that was a missed time there by Adahar. Medyo nailang siya eh. Actually, he's in the front row. He could have, pwede niyang mag-jump set sana yun or drop ball. But if that first ball is medyo tight na sa net and na-late ka, talagang mahihirapan doon si Adahar.
19-18. Army have the lead. Army looking to put Santa Rosa away. And the Philippine Army look like they're enjoying their game.
Nakita mo yung reaction doon ni Liberado.
And they're gonna challenge this block touch here. Talking about the Santa Rosa City Lions. And you know what? Even if there wasn't that block touch, you have to feel that they just need to kill this momentum of the Philippine Army, because they are visibly enjoying the game more here, especially in set number 4.
Yeah, lalo na ang laki ng hinabol nila no, para lang makatay sa score ng Santa Rosa. And this time, if naging successful or unsuccessful itong challenge na to, sila pa ang mauuna sa 20 points.
Right now, the check still being done here. And the Santa Rosa City Lions are facing another challenge, another test. So there is the block touch. And the point will go to the Philippine Army.
Now they have a 2-point advantage. They only need 5 points to close this set and to win this game.
Again, this Philippine Army team looks different, feels different. Adahar with the setup to Quesada, and that will be out.
Yeah, may halong gigil na yon sa palo ni Quesada. Parang yung pressure ngayon napunta sa side ng City Lions. Kanina, they have a comfortable lead. They were the ones who's enjoying, and all of their quick attacks and open attacks are really working for them. But this time, naiba na yung situation and yung momentum dahil nasa Philippine Army na ngayon yung lead.
Kahit anong mangyayari, kailangan makuha natin itong focus. Pag nakuha natin ito, makukuha natin yung set. Huwag yung sayangin, no? Huwag yung sayangin yung pala natin ng first set, to. Diba? Pahirapan yun sila. Ang nangyayari, madali na sa kanilang laro kasi puro error natin. Diba, hindi tayo nag-iisip eh. Huwag kasi kayo maratin. Kailangan mas, kung kailan yung mga ganyan, yung mga sitwasyon, yun yung mga tama, yung mga kilos nyo. Hindi yung may mga extra movements pa. Diba? Isa-isa, boys, kayang-kaya pa yan. Kayang-kaya yan. Maniwala lang kayo sa sarili nyo. Diba?
Well, the Santa Rosa City Lions need to make this difficult on the Philippine Army. And how do they minimize that, or how do they do that? Well, the errors in the dress ni coach, and easier said than done, but then they have to keep their game clean from this point on.
Yes, yung kanina din na-mention ko is yung nawala yung mga quick attacks nitong City Lions na alam naman natin na very effective for them. Pag na-activate lang nila itong quick attacks nila, tuloy-tuloy nilang makakuha ng mga quick attacks, be quick, or even Yoyong Mendoza is very effective in the open.
Trailing here, 19 serving 21, the Santa Rosa City Lions. Adahar, 19 excellent sets in this game with the serve. Keeping it alive here. The double block, sends it back, and that is a lot better here coming from Santa Rosa, now trailing by just one.
That was actually 2 consecutive quick attacks and point by Magsino. Like what I mentioned, ito talagang middle blockers yung nagbibigay ng problema and challenge dito sa blockers also ng Army.
There's Philippine Army. Can they get a good attack going here? Stopping the run of Santa Rosa. Santa Rosa trying to tie things up. They go to the other side, talking about the Philippine Army, trying to get that off the blockers. Montemayor. Rojas. The push, too strong, and we're tied up at 21.
Grabe yung exchanges sa mga palo and yung defense nitong both squads. Akala natin kanina itong Army nagko-complain ng merong double touch, but itong drop ball ni Rojas masyado lang napalakas kaya outside.
Receive muna tayo. Kevin.
Gulang tayo. Diretso lang tayo. Lalamang pa rin tayo.
Okay, pupong tayo.
Kapitan natin ha, kapitan.
Trabaho lang tayo sa ilalim, ha?
Go.
Mahanin natin yung first ball.
Walang bibitaw.
Kailangan na mamatay talaga.
Kapit. Isang side out lang, isang side out.
A lot of voices, all encouraging. Again, trying to get each other going. They just need another point just to regain the lead here and maybe alleviate a bit of pressure on themselves.
Yeah, especially ngayon, pressure on the side of Philippine Army because sila yung may gustong mag-close na nitong game na to, but unti-unting humahabol itong City Lion coming up from the free errors na binibigay ng Philippine Army. But nahuli ng ating referees that there was a net touch on the side of City Lions. Like, let's look at this.
And probably on the way down there, but either way, the point will go to the Philippine Army. No challenges made. Trying to put Santa Rosa away. They tied it up at 21 all. And make it 22 all.
What a open attack there by Bo. Na-feel mo yung gigil niya dun sa down the line attack niya.
And they're going to challenge a ball in, ball out here. Talking about the Philippine Army. Again, if they get this right, they'll only be 2 away from claiming the game. So they're going to check this here. As the Philippine Army, a while ago we saw, again, that everyone is, well, it is Hearts Month, I guess.
That's true.
Oh, itong si Barika has been doing it. And this time he's doing it on the court.
Oh, kanina you mentioned
diba?
that
Kanina he wasn't on the court. So again, still checking the ball in, ball out. And this could be a big call here.
It was clearly inside. I mean, from our angle also, medyo mahirap eh. Medyo mahirap from our angle kung makita inside or outside. But from the challenge, pasok naman yung down the line attack na yun ni Book.
Probably could have been a quicker challenge to call as well. But in either way here, itong Philippine Army and Santa Rosa City Lions tied up at 22 all. Santa Rosa fighting for an extension. Philippine Army looking to end it.
Oh, that was a costly error for the side of Santa Rosa.
At kanina, you know, those types of serves are falling the way of Santa Rosa, especially in set number 1. A while ago, they'd just be hugging the line, towing the line. Challenges were made, and still Santa Rosa found a way to score. But that time, costly error probably here. A chance to pile on the pressure. Rojas on the service line para sa Philippine Army. Montemayor off the bench, hitting it in the sky.
Always effective itong opposite attacks ni Montemayor. Take a look at this. Actually, yung middle blocker late for the side of Santa Rosa. And you gotta love na ito nagkabungguan si Montemayor and Labide, but he guided Labide.
Speaking of Labide, that one, the blocking of Bog and Magsino combined puts them within set point here. Another timeout called on the floor.
Tatlo spiker ha. Receive mo. Anong play mo? Tumba? Back. Back week. Back week. Ikaw. Doon ka, sa dulo, di ba? Go lang tayo. Di pa tapos yung laban.
Sa pampatayan.
Receive tayo, Viking. Kuhanin natin to. Paluin natin yung maayos. Di pa.
Kunin natin for juice para panalo atin yan. Atin to. Alright!
Showing the confidence that they need here to try and prevent Santa Rosa from claiming this frame. Labide on the floor. Ross on the floor. Two of their top scorers here. Talking about the Philippine Army. To si Montemayor for the set. And it's going to be an extended frame here as the Philippine Army refuse to go down.
Yeah, sa mga ganitong dikit na patapos na set, no, talagang yung mindset and yung diskarte ng mga spikers and buong team mo, dito natin malalaman kung sino yung may tibay the latter part of games.
And if you ask who had it in that occasion, itong si Bok, able to provide again.
Every time they get a good first ball, talaga naggagawa nitong mga combination attacks si Adahar. Book had that good, siya pa yung nakakuha ng receive, saktong-sakto kay Adahar, pero siya pa yung pumalo doon for the combination play.
Set point again for Santa Rosa. Abdul Majid coming in. Axel Book on the service line for the frame. Had to get that right. Abdul Majid straight off the bench. Couldn't score yet. Back row. Still saved. Labide. Good blocking there from the Philippine Army. And sending that out wide. We're still going to be playing here.
Yeah, but the City Lions are talking to their coaches. It was inside.
Ball in, ball out. They're going to challenge this one. And even on that angle, not quite sure if we can say it definitely. So I thought we're going to figure it out here.
Take a look at this. It was clearly inside. That was Mendoza's down the line attack with single blocker only for Army.
And that is a successful challenge there for the Santa Rosa City Lions. And they do send us to set number 5 here in what has been an exciting affair between the Philippine Army and Santa Rosa. A lot more to talk about here. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You're watching the Spikers Turf Open Conference in what is set to be another 5-set matchup here. Philippine Army Troopers and Santa Rosa City Lions, nothing could separate them after 2 frames. Here in set number 4, the question was, can Santa Rosa bounce back after the Philippine Army looked to have found their confidence in set number 3? And it was tight, and what we expected here in set number 4.
Actually, set number 4, ang aga nitong lamang na pinakita ng City Lions, but unti-unting nakahabol yung Philippine Army. I guess, yung nawala lang sa Philippine Army nung start nung third set, pumasok sila nung third set na talaga ang taas ng intensity nila, ang taas ng energy nila. But coming into the fourth set, nauna pa yung City Lions na mag-ingay and makakuha ng sunod-sunod na puntos. Definitely nakakuha naman ng mas malaking lamang. And at the same time, gumana din yung mga quick attacks ng City Lions na na-miss natin nung third set. And now we're looking at the numbers. I gotta mention itong errors na binigay ng Santa Rosa, which is 12 errors versus 8 lang ng Army. But coming up from the 12 errors are 10 attack faults. Meaning yung mga outside attacks nila not over. So 10 points doon. Libreng puntos na para sa Army. And block points, nawala yung mga block scores ng Army. No previous sets, at least 4 sila. Average ng 4. But last set, naka-isa lang sila. So this time, mabilis lang tong fifth set na to, partner, no? So tingnan natin kung sino yung makakauna makakuha ng momentum.
And the Philippine Army will take that one courtesy of the attacking error of the Santa Rosa City Lions. So, we mentioned a while ago, sabi ng partner ko dito na mabilis lang ito yung fifth set, but we don't know.
Yes, and coming up from the previous sets, no, talagang isahan lang and dikit lang yung mga puntos. But pag mapa-activate ni Adahar ang kanyang mga middle blockers, dyan magkakaroon ng problema makasabay itong Philippine Army.
Let's take a look at that finish once more, tied up at 1 apiece. So it's a question of conditioning and mental toughness here. Hit the tape and that just falls in para kay Adahar. Doesn't look pretty, but he'll take it.
But still, that's a point for their squad. It's still a service ace. So if you're looking at Philippine Army now, they're a bit quiet coming into this fifth set.
Adahar with the setup back set to Montemayor.
There was a net touch called on Enciso and Liberato.
So off to a hot start again, Santa Rosa. There's the net touch.
Yeah, it was clearly Enciso nung pababa na siya for that block. And now Montemayor is starting for this fifth set. Para mga previous sets, madalas coming off from the bench siya, but this time he will start for their squad.
Konting giggle from Enciso's end, but then there was a touch, I believe. But they're gonna check in, ball out.
Yeah, they said, I mean, the players are on the court said
sobrang gigil nga, oh, nagsishake na yung card. They want the challenge.
Alam nila na it was outside, maybe.
Yeah. Well, as they review it, again, from our angle, it's hard to tell. The cameras will always have the better ones. Katabi natin yung challenge machine where we can check for ourselves. And they are reviewing the process at the moment. As we take a look at it here, and ooh, centimeters.
Yeah, it was inside.
Unsuccessful challenge there. Look close. Point will go to Army. And there's an error on the scoreboard saying that the point went to Santa Rosa, so they will try and fix that first because that's a score displayed here at the venue. So Santa Rosa enjoying this error. So they're still not starting here until they fix it. So they are addressing it right now. 2 serving 3. That's the proper score. And that is sent long. So 2-point lead again for Santa Rosa. Again, maganda yung simula ng Santa Rosa here. They're going to be feasting on the errors of the Philippine Army. Bakil. Labide with the reception. And Ciso, the block from Montemayor.
Yeah, that was a double block actually by Montemayor and Magsino, but it was all Montemayor for that block. Looking at this replay, medyo may gigil na doon sa Enciso. Ang baba ng daan ng bola niya. Now, napatawag ng timeout itong Philippine Army. Let's listen in.
Pasok na maayos. Deliver tayo ng maayos, ha? Ngayon, na-block. Coverage tayo. Coverage tayo. Wala pang namamatay. Nakaano na kagad tayo. Buhay tayo.
Hindi pa tapos. Hindi pa tapos.
Hindi pa tapos. Gala tayo, gala tayo.
Hindi na ko siyang paano yan. Trabahuin natin.
Arme!
Kumpos.
Looking for a bit more composure here for the Philippine Army, trailing by 3 here early in set number 5. Looking for a bit more coverage, basically trying to cover the basics here of defending well and soundly.
Yeah, importante ngayon na hindi maka-feel ng pressure itong Philippine Army if gusto nilang makahabol sa puntos itong City Lion, because coming into this set, you could see and feel the intensity and yung enjoyment itong City Lions. But ang tahimik nitong Philippine Army.
And it is still Santa Rosa who have Army's number here in set number 5. Boo getting that one.
That was actually a tough angle by Book. Ang layo na nung set na yun ni Montemayor. But he was able to adjust. And yun yung sinasabi ni Coach Lirio na hindi lahat ng palo puro lakas. Timingan mo yung set sa'yo, diskartehan mo yung palo mo.
Better there from Torres, pero buhay pa rin. Trying to play a bit quicker here, talking about Santa Rosa. They set up Montemayor again, and Montemayor gets set off the blockers, and Santa Rosa are flying.
That is a good lead here by Santa Rosa with 5 big points. And Montemayor doing everything para makakuha ng puntos and makakuha pa na mas malayong lead for their squad.
Bakil set to serve. Good reception there, kept alive. Adahar, free ball para sa Army. Who do they look for? Rojas. And Adahar could not control it. And boy, if they needed a point, they needed that one badly.
Yeah, grabe yung combination attack na yun ni Rojas. Narinig mo yung lutong ng palo niya doon. Ang ganda din ng pasok ni Torres. Nakakuha siya ng 2 blockers doon. Kaya naman open na open itong si PJ Rojas for that combination attack.
PJ Rojas with the serve, sent straight to the net. He is typically very secure when it comes to that. And right now they will be switching floors here with Santa Rosa leading by 5 against the Philippine Army. And so far, well, at least on that side of the floor, it has been the Philippine Army who has been trailing and really second best here. Pero itong Santa Rosa, the amount of energy that they have come up with has been noticeable, has been different. And so many key contributors here para sa Santa Rosa.
And you gotta love their confidence as well. Yan yung na-miss natin, no? I'm talking about Santa Rosa. Yung confidence nila nung first set, dahil dikit yung laban na yun, no? Nakuha pa rin nila. And also, coming on this 5th set, every time they score a point, every time na nade-depensa nila yung mga malalakas na palo ng opponents nila, talagang sineselebrate nila yon, no? Nakikita mo yung laki ng mga smiles nila, and everyone is enjoying.
PJ Rojas checks out for the meantime as Santa Rosa will try to put the Philippine Army away. Blocking slowed that down. Who do they look for here? Mendoza, not that time. Enciso. Boy pa din dito as Ramirez with the setup. They go to the wing. Montemayor with the defensive effort. Mendoza with the run, with the hit. Army trying to stay alive here.
Good defense we're seeing here.
And that just sneaks in. Lacked a couple of inches in terms of reach. 6-point lead lead para sa Santa Rosa here in set number 5.
Actually, there was a miscommunication in the defense pattern of Philippine Army. Barica is actually looking at Enciso because zone 1 yun eh. Area nila yun in the defense pattern.
And the Philippine Army actually called for a challenge here, ball in, ball out. Pero, well, they actually saw the replay on the big screen right beside them. And medyo nagalit yung naghawak ng ball in, ball out. And basically threw the card down. But then, at the end of the day, sometimes the challenge is not just there to win the point back. It's to stop momentum.
That's true.
To increase the time. It's to cool off yung opponents because they were really on a good flow here. Talking about Santa Rosa. And again, see, clear as day, it happened right in front of the Army bench.
Yeah, it was clearly inside. And you gotta give credit to the defense of both squads, especially itong Santa Rosa. Parang coming into this fifth set, nakapag-adjust na sila sa kanilang defense pattern. Yung mga blockers sila nakakahawak na ng bola or napapabagal na nila yung mga quick attacks ng Philippine Army.
That time, it's Labide, the vet, getting that done. 5-point lead para sa Santa Rosa. Boy pa rin dito ang Army, but they need to string in a few points together.
Yeah, but this is still a comfortable lead.
Very comfortable lead.
For Santa Rosa.
Mark Enciso para sa Philippine Army on the service line.
What a combination play by Santa Rosa. Now,
itong si Book has been shining here in the end game. Standing tall here amongst the Lions.
This is actually a strong front line by Santa Rosa.
Pero binaliking point. 5-point lead again. Can the Philippine Army string together a few, go on a little run of their own?
Yeah, you only have 2 frontliners for both squad. Adahar is in the front row. Ramirez is on the front row also for Philippine Army. So labanan to ng mga quick attackers and open attackers. Especially Yoyong is in the open area for City Lions. And that's a costly service error.
And Santa Rosa, as we mentioned a while ago sa pregame natin, they are building on their first victory dito sa Open Conference, looking to make it 2 in a row at the expense of the Philippine Army, who are now in 2-2 and are now staring down the barrel of a 2-3 record.
Yeah, yung game nitong Santa Rosa against Vanguard, ang laki din ng lamang nila no 5th set. Same thing that we're seeing here on this game.
Kept alive there, Labide. Montemayor saved that one. Did it for Mendoza. Mendoza bit too low on that, and that was a stinging hit there from the Army.
What an open attack by Jailo Labide. Mendoza was actually expecting for that, but it was just too strong for him. Grabe.
Not much they could do about that. You see Labide on the service line from QC, 36 years young. Mendoza was stuffed, but he'll try again. Mendoza off the tape inside, and that'll be in.
Yeah, that was a good change of direction sa attack ni Mendoza. He saw Ramirez was there, a formidable blocker, but ang ganda nung cross-court bawi naman niya yun na adjustment.
So much confidence about Mendoza. His game and his swagger, really trying to lead the team. Boy pa rin dito, Philippine Army send that away, but then it's too long, and Santa Rosa 2 away from claiming this entire matchup. Let's listen in.
Ito, kaya yan.
Kailangan matapang na tayo dyan.
Ang mangyayari lang, pagbalik ng bola, patayin natin ng maayos. Ngayon, pagka hindi na matay, kuhanin natin sa blocking. Okay?